What is up, everybody? It's your boy Steve here today, and we're gonna talk about a salty Sony fanboy who was usually very salty, but this post is even more salty than his usual post. So he says Xbox is completely irrelevant, yet he keeps talking about it, and it's just fascinating how whenever Xbox gets good news, bad news, he will be the first one in his ilk to talk about this news whatsoever. So obviously, when you're that passionate about a console, it can't be that irrelevant as this guy says it is. But this is the post that this guy says. PC makes Xbox irrelevant and PlayStation makes Xbox even more irrelevant. Nintendo Switch is more relevant than Xbox. But yet he can't stop talking about it. It's just quite fascinating. They have a serious obsession with Xbox, but it's just so irrelevant to these guys, but they just can't stop talking about it. So like I said before, if you can't stop talking about something, it's obviously not irrelevant. Like I said, if it's good news, bad news, news about Game Pass, they will be the first ones to talk about it multiple times in a day. So let's see what people have to say about this comment right here. Xbox is an ecosystem as not just a console. It's 2022 and PlayStation fanboys still need to have this explained. Yeah. You can buy Xbox games on PC or Xbox. So once again, the consoles aren't selling that well. Microsoft, you can play the games on PC, and Microsoft doesn't really care because they're still making money regardless. So PC is at play by both Sony and Microsoft. If it's true for one brand, it's true for the other. Hypocrisy is a hell of a drug. If Xbox is so irrelevant, why are you so obsessed with it? Do you think the market would be better off without it or something? Then he responds and says, it makes some great coffee tables, so the market needs it. Nintendo Switch is also more relevant than Sony. Nintendo Switch is going to outsell the PS4, meaning it would be more relevant than PlayStation. Not to mention, soon all PS5 games will also be day one on PC. If PC makes Xbox irrelevant, why did Xbox outsell PlayStation last month? They kind of did. Xbox is so irrelevant, why tweet about it? Good question. My PC made PS5 irrelevant, but hey, it is what it is. Still loved Astrobot though. Best selling console of each gen, Nintendo TV Home. I'm not gonna go through this long list. So mainly Nintendo. I was like one PS2. So mainly Nintendo. Okay. Then he says, nope, F out of here. Crazy thing is the people who play it the least mention it more than anything else. For you, maybe, but for me, as long as the Xbox keeps releasing Gears of War games, and as long as Nintendo keeps releasing Pokemon games, they will be the most relevant consoles in my house. Okay. Switch taking over Japan is really upsetting you. Xbox is more relevant now thanks to people who always mention Xbox. It never fails. Literally, when you look for Xbox tweet on Twitter, they show you like a recommended Xbox tweet. There's always these Sony fanboys promoting Xbox with their Xbox anti-Xbox propaganda they always push out. So they keep making Xbox more relevant, as which he says the console's so irrelevant. So funny how something irrelevant makes you constantly talk about it. Yeah. I don't see these guys mention Google Stadia whatsoever. That shows you. They don't mention Google Stadia. They don't mention whatever, the cloud gaming. All the stuff that's like kind of irrelevant right now, people really want to talk about. They don't talk about it either. They don't even talk about PC gaming at all. They just talk about Xbox and PlayStation. Mainly the Xbox though. So what they say is so irrelevant though. That's when I'm playing the most on my Xbox. I also have a good game PC and my PS5, but I still play mostly on my Xbox. What am I doing wrong then? And he says, coping, I see. Xbox must have touched you in a bad place for you to continue obsessing over them, living rent-free in your head. And yet you're talking about it, yeah. So let me get this straight. Buy a PC to spend way more money to get the same or better performance of the Xbox just to play Xbox games. Make it make sense. So you want to pay all the extra money just for more FPS or a bump in resolution? Xbox is very necessary. I say all these systems are necessary. They all got pros and cons, but because these guys are so jealous and threatened by Xbox, you got to make these stupid posts every single day and get clowned in the comment section for it. So this guy says PlayStation fanboys yelling with a small brain while normal gamers are just happy, I guess. I don't know. Let me see. For starters, no console gamers generally don't care for PC, and most console gamers who say they got an Xbox, why get an Xbox we can get a PC, don't even have a PC to start with. Hell, most console gamers don't even have a PC to begin with. When things are irrelevant, people don't usually talk about them. That is very true, but they talk about Xbox every day, so it shows you that Xbox is very relevant in the gaming community. The way y'all make Xbox trend every day, I don't think it's irrelevant. I mean, Eagles don't talk about ants every day, right? The PC makes every console irrelevant. That is not true because console gaming is one of the highest sellers for gamers in general, so that's not true either. Let's see. Says Xbox is irrelevant, tweets about Xbox every day. Yeah, that is pretty sad. They legit tweet about Xbox every day. They tweet about Xbox more than Xbox fans do at this point. Like, they legit tweet about Xbox more than Xbox fans do, so. Let's see. Yes, very fair and unbiased opinion, I see. Definitely sarcasm. You realize Xbox just outsold the PS5, right? That's alright. If you got a beefy PC, get PC Game Pass, you won't need an Xbox. As long as you forego that $10 to $15 a month, Microsoft doesn't care where you play. Facts. Let's see. I wonder how irrelevant that makes you talking about something that's irrelevant. And then the whole thing when they say you get a PC, you don't get an Xbox, that's not necessarily true because some PC games have definitely bad ports of these console games. So I still want to have a backup option when some of these PC games PC ports don't work properly. You still want to probably want a console just as a backup. If things are irrelevant, why do they have a market? Yeah, but especially if they're irrelevant, why are they outselling the PS5? That shouldn't happen, right? If it's so irrelevant. Let's see. Damn, this is a hot take on Xbox. I agree with everything you said. Pony time? I think the only reason to buy the Xbox console stuff is if you don't have enough money for a good PC, which is okay. No one cares. Which is why you obsess over it. Your opinion is pretty irrelevant. You're making Xbox relevant now? Yeah, by talking about it, he's making Xbox relevant, which they just don't get. Now that Xbox has Game Pass, there's literally no reason to buy an Xbox. Wait, what? Now that Xbox has Game Pass, there's literally no reason to buy an Xbox. It doesn't make any sense, but okay. Ironic considering you mentioned Xbox, which makes it relevant. Me trying to find out who asked. Why do you think all casuals see either PlayStation, PC, or Switch? PC is not for casuals, Xbox for people like me who don't want to tinker with 1,000 settings and still play the latest games, and not to mention PlayStation doesn't even have Roblox, which is the most popular game ever among kids. Yeah, again, the system should definitely have Roblox. I don't know if Xbox has it, but you would think they should have a popular game like that because kids are definitely playing that game, so. Why are you always talking about something irrelevant? It looks like it's very relevant to mention Xbox every day. Millions disagree with you. Yeah, because I think what is the sales for the Xbox at least like 13 million or 12 million, I believe it's out right now. So obviously it's relevant to somebody if people are buying it. Might want to grow up. Who might want to grow up? Does console wars still? Every platform is great. Still participating in console wars. What is the goal for this tweet? Why can't you just enjoy your platform? Because they are threatened by Xbox. they have a fear of Xbox being dominant this generation. Very similar to how the Xbox 360 was during that generation. They don't want that to happen. Because, I don't know, they feel emotional pain when PlayStation just loses. I don't know. They have a strong attachment to the PlayStation. Says no one in real life, only on the internet. You talk a lot about the supposedly irrelevant brand. I'll tell you to play games, but we all know that Twitter is your only game. Xbox is more relevant to you than PlayStation is. It's all y'all ever talk about more than you play PlayStation. Kinda true. They don't even talk about PlayStation as much as they talk about Xbox. How does PC make Xbox irrelevant? I like to see the mental gymnastics you did. Xbox is so irrelevant that I keep talking about it, and I keep talking and moaning about how bad it is all the time because it's just so irrelevant. But if it was irrelevant, then why are you talking about it? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, this is a very accurate representation of what's going on right now. They only think about Xbox 24/7. This dude is just slowly losing it. Better than Xbox, and he's crying while he's saying it. PlayStation dudes, why are you even talking? Your system doesn't even have quick resume. Hard pass on the PS5. Hopefully they get that system with the next console iteration, like I guess the PS5 Pro, because that's definitely a game changer with that quick resume feature. The more I grow up, the more I convince you really need some help, seriously. And regular men make you irrelevant. Who gives a flying F? The console war BS needs to stop. Let's see. Irrelevant but crying, not like this. Okay. Your irrelevance seems inconceivable. Okay, buddy, keep thinking that. You are irrelevant, skip the crack. And dies from cringe. Yeah, nobody's agreeing with this guy. Like, nobody's really agreeing with this guy on any post he makes. Like, the vast majority of people are just not agreeing with this guy whatsoever. I think the vast majority of people see the pros and cons in each console like adults, like reasonable adults, and they see why each one of these systems need to be in the console market, because they each have their pros and cons. But, you know, they got to tell you how much better their PlayStation is better than the Xbox each and every day, it seems like it. And then trying to say it's irrelevant when it's clearly not. If you're talking about it constantly, it's clearly not irrelevant. This tweet makes you irrelevant. And then the thing also, because they keep talking about it, it keeps trending on Twitter. Like, you see Halo Infinite, which probably most of these tweets are probably about Sony fanboys talking about Halo Infinite. You see Xbox shit on Twitter, mostly because Sony fanboys keep tweeting about Xbox. And it's just hysterical. They keep making this thing trend because they can't stop talking about it. Why do you guys even think this? Why do you guys even give this damn idiot the attention that it doesn't need? Just shut up and get an Xbox already. I'm pretty sure this guy probably has an Xbox. A lot of these Sony fanboys got Xboxes, but they complain about it every day, though. Doesn't make any sense. Xbox will forever be relevant in the minds of ponies and out their mouth. You are a prime example. There is no hope for you. And yet here you are making this post. Sounds like the only relevant one is you. I think that's a good point to conclude it on. Yeah, these guys will never learn. They keep saying Xbox is relevant. We'll talk about it every day. You're making a trend constantly. You're helping Microsoft at the end of the day by promoting Xbox with free advertisement. So this post is just stupid. Like I'll say, each and every console has their pros and cons. I don't know why any of these consoles make Xbox irrelevant. Xbox is doing just fine, but they're obviously threatening that Sony might lose their standing right now as a top dog. They're terrified that that might come to an end. So definitely want to see your thoughts down below about this guy getting roasted in this comment section. Leave a like if you like this video. As always, thanks for watching, and peace.